All right, class. So now we're going to do the notes. This is going to be page 24. Okay, so Q1, page 24. Having some technical difficulties, so I have to break it into smaller chunks. Okay. The name of this page is Functions, Table, and Function Notation. All right, so first thing you have to know is that a function, again, like we talked about yesterday, is where the x values do not repeat. They don't repeat, okay? It's where your x values in a relation do not repeat, okay? A function table then, so we're going to talk about function table first. And if you need to slow it down, just pause the video, okay? A function table is, or table is a table, the x and y table of x and y values where the x values do not repeat. X values do not repeat. Okay? Okay? All right. So now this is what a function table looks like. Sometimes you'll just get an x and y like we did yesterday. And sometimes you'll see an equation or a function rule in the middle. Sometimes you'll see that. Okay? Y is equal to something or whatever the case may be. And I'm going to give you an example. Okay? All right, so your x value, other names for x and y you need to know. That's why I made this short. Another name for x could be your x values. They're talking about the x. Input values, domain, independent variable. Okay? Other names for y could be your y values, your output, your range, your dependent variable. And most recently, we learned that y is the same as saying f of x. Remember, as I said yesterday, your f of x is the same as saying y. Okay, your f of x is the same as saying y. Why is this true? Because your whatever x is, well, whatever the value for y is dependent on whatever x is. So your y is a dependent variable. So you have to know what x is in order to get a value for y. So that's why they say y is a function of x, because you got to know x to get y. You have to know x to get y. Example of a function table, and you've seen this probably somewhere before. You have x here, you have y here. Your function rule is in the middle. Y is equal to 2x plus 1. And your x values might be -1, 0, and 1. And you're going to plug in these x values. You're going to plug in your x values, okay, in for x to figure out what y is. Okay, so you have 2 times your x value here is -1 plus 1. This is -2 plus 1, which is -1. Okay, now we're going to plug in 0. 2 times 0 plus 1. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is just going to be 1. Now we're going to plug in 1. 2 times 1 plus 1. This is 2 plus 1 is 3. Sometimes they'll go ahead and write the ordered pairs in. So your x value here is -1. Your y value is -1. Your x value here is 0. Your y value is 1. Your x value here is 1. Your y value is 3. And they'll graph these. And later you will learn by looking at an equation, you can tell that it's those points would graph a straight line. It's linear. But that comes a little bit later. That's in the next unit. Okay? So now we talked about this function table. Okay? And the function table, of course, makes ordered pairs that you can graph. Now we're going to talk about the other part of the notes, which is function notation. Function notation. Okay, function notation is where you replace y with f of x. Okay, is where you replace y in an equation, you replace y with f of x. You replace y with f of x. Okay? That's what you do. So now, move this a little bit. So now let's do some examples. Let's do the first example. Oops. Move this out the way a little bit. Let's do some examples. Number 1. Y is equal to 2x plus 1. How do you write this in function notation? Okay? How do you write this in function notation? All you're doing is replacing y with f of x. So this is going to be f of x is equal to now 2x plus 1. Now this equation is written in function notation. That's it. That's all. That's so easy, ain't it? Okay? Pause if you need to. I'm going to move to example 2. Okay? The next example, number 2. Slide this down just a taste. Number 2. Make sure everything is still good. Okay. All right. So we have y is equal to a negative 7x plus 5. We're writing this in function notation. Get ready to just write notation, ain't I? Function notation. Okay, so to write this in function notation, you're going to write this as, look, you're going to replace y with f of x. Is equal to negative 7x plus 5. You can use other letters too. It still means y. You could say g of x or h of x. It's still written in function notation. The letter that's commonly used, though, is f. Okay? The next thing is how to solve, or how do you solve equations written in function notation? How do you solve equations written in function notation? So you have f of x is equal to y, okay? Or, this is what you need to know, or y is equal to f of x. And we already established that, okay? We established that. The number that's in the parentheses, we already established this too, is your x value. The number that's in the parentheses is your x value. Okay, that's what you're going to substitute for x. All right, so this is how you do that. You got to know this part first. So when you see an equation that's written in function notation, you might see f of 2 is equal to negative 7x plus 5. What are you doing? What is this saying? This is saying, look, this number in the parentheses is saying x is equal to a 2. What is the value of y? What's the value of f of x or f of 2? Y. So all you're going to do is substitute. You're going to substitute 2 in the place of x. So this is going to be negative 7 times 2 plus 5. The answer here, we got this, is negative 14 plus 5. This is equal to negative 9. What is the meaning? What does this mean? The meaning is when x is equal to 2, y is equal to a negative 9. That's the meaning. You can also write this as an ordered pair. Your x value is 2. Your y value is negative 9. This is the ordered pair. This is also the answer. There's many ways to write this answer. Okay? Let's do another one. Let's do number 2. We're going to use g of 4 instead of f of x all the time. And this is still function notation. 4x plus 10. What is this saying? What are they asking me to do? In the parentheses, this is the value for x. They're saying x is equal to 4. What is the value of y? So you're going to substitute 4 in the place of x. So this is going to be 4 times 4 plus 10. So you'll multiply first and get 16 here. Plus 10, that's going to be 26. Okay? What is the meaning? The meaning is when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 26. Another way to write the answer, you can write it as an ordered pair. Your x value would be 4, comma, your y value would be 26. And keep in mind also that you could say g of 4 is equal to 26. Don't forget you can say that too. Okay? Because remember, this is y. All right. Let's do the third one. The third one says, number 3, it says f of x is equal to 2. Okay? What is the meaning of this? Again, this is saying, the meaning of this is saying, okay, what is x? What is x? Okay, when y, because this f of x is y, is equal to 2. This is what this is saying. This expression is saying just that. What is x? Because you see how x is missing? When y is equal to 2, don't forget that f of x is equal to y, or g of x, or h of x, or something of x is equal to y. They gave you what y is equal to, but they didn't give you what's in the parentheses. Let's look at another, number 4. G of x is equal to 1/2. What is the meaning of this? Okay, the meaning is this. What, again, x is missing. What is x equal to when y, again, is equal to 1/2? That's what this is saying. Okay? Number 5. We're going to use h. H of negative 4 is equal to x minus 10. Pause to see if you can do this one on your own. All right. So this is saying x is equal to a negative 4. Okay? So let's plug it in. Here, when we plug this in, h of negative 4 is equal to, we're going to plug in negative 4 here for x, minus 10. What is that equal to? This is equal to, this is plus a negative, this is negative 14. Type it in if you think it's not right, okay? So here, f of negative 4 is equal to negative 14. What is the meaning? What does this mean? This means, again, when x is equal to a negative 4, y is equal to a negative 14. Okay, that is the meaning, right? The ordered pair, you could write this as, this is the answer right here. You can write this as your x value is negative 4, comma, your y value is negative 14. Okay, so it's multiple ways you can write this answer. All right, so the very last thing that I want you to do is please go to Canvas, and I want you to work on the function worksheet that's on today's um, lesson. Okay, it's in two places. If you read Tuesday's lesson, you'll see it there. And then if you read under the assignments at the top of the page, it's under there as well. This is what it looks like, function notation worksheet. I need you to show your work on a separate piece of paper, but I'm going to help you out real quickly. Okay, so you have, sorry. Here you have g of h. I'm sorry, g of 10. So you're going to use the function that has g. So this is going to be negative 3x plus 1. And what is this saying? This is saying that x is 10. So you need to figure out what y is equal to. So plug in 10 to solve for y. Do this on a separate piece of paper, please. B, this is f. This is the f function right here. So this is x squared plus 7. That's the equation you're going to use. 3 is in the parentheses, so that means x is equal to 3. They want you to find out what y is. So plug in 3, use order of operations to find out what y is. H, this is the h equation here. This is going to be 12 divided by whatever x is. You already know in the parentheses, this is the value for x. So x here is equal to a negative 2. Plug in the negative 2, okay, and solve to figure out what y is. J, you're going to use the j. Even for h, look, they're telling you to substitute a in for h. So here, look, 12 divided by, plug in a here to see, and that's going to be your answer. Okay, find k. Look at this, find k. So you're going to use the g, negative g equation, negative 3x plus 1. You already know that y is 16. So this is equal to 16, or you can put it on this side. Doesn't matter which side you put it on. And solve for x. Okay? And the same thing that you're going to do for these. All right? This is a challenge problem. I'm not going to do that for you. Translate this in words. Go back and look at your notes for today and see if you can write the meanings of these. All right, guys, I want you to complete this. If you don't finish it, do it for homework and submit it tonight. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.